Welcome to Sentinels of the Multiverse, the video game. So, before we get started, I just want to say that I think the last playthrough with the Gloomweaver and the way I started out kind of building the deck, this game is a deck builder, so I should have clued in on that. But I think I did much better against the Gloomweaver than potentially other villains because I did at first start to build, work on building the deck. Sorry, I had to clear my throat. And it's just kind of, so I realized that my play has been very kind of offensive nature as opposed to considering any defense. And thinking about it, when I look at the cards to play, if there wasn't a way for me to smack somebody around, I was thinking, oh, I have no cards to play, horrible cards. But in reality, I did have cards that I could play that kind of built the deck and could build for long-term strategy as opposed to just the immediate gratification of smacking someone. But unfortunately, that is my style when it comes to combat. Being ex-airborne infantry, that's what we're trained to do. It's like what's grilled into you, that whenever you have enemy contact, it's the surprise of actions, the violence of force, where you just immediately you want to gain that upper hand with the fire superiority so that you can then fire and maneuver and wipe out the enemy. It's not defensive at all. It's not like, well, there's the enemy, let's run and find some place that we can hide and shoot from and maybe build a wall or dig a trench or put up a fortress or something like that. It's like, no, you go to attack. And so it's kind of my nature to do that, and I know that, and in playing games like this, it gets me in trouble at times. Probably more times than I care to acknowledge, because I take, if it comes down to an offensive move or a defensive move, I'm going to go with the offensive move, even though that may mean in the next turn I suffer heavily because I didn't take that defensive move. If you watch some of my XCOM, it took me a minute to remember XCOM. Some of my XCOM videos, you'll hear me explain this already for my actions in XCOM. But yeah, it's just kind of in my nature. It's like the fable of the frog and the scorpion, where the scorpion finally talks the frog into taking him across the river with the promise he won't sting the frog, and then halfway across the river he stings the frog, and the frog is like, why'd you do that? Now we're both going to die. And the scorpion says, because it's in my nature to sting. And so yeah, it's kind of in my nature to be aggressive, and I need to really consider not always doing the offensive even in this game, and consider that just because I have a bunch of cards and none of them are of an offensive nature, I shouldn't just immediately say, horrible hand, game's messing with me or whatever. So we'll see, because it's hard for me to do that, but I'm going to try and do that moving forward. Also, I realized I made a mistake. So the Prime Wardens, they're always supposed to face their enemies in Insula Primalis. It's the Joe League that is supposed to take on the villains in all these different environments. But for the Prime Wardens, it's the Insula Primalis, because according to what I gathered from my reading about them, that's kind of their domain. And so, for example, Freedom 5 will always fight in Megalopolis, and the Arkham Coven will always fight in Silver Gulch, because I couldn't find anything else that kind of fit that, the Arkham Coven. And the Egyptian Pantheon will always fight in the Tomb of Anubis. And then the Dark Watch will always fight in Rook City. So, could Prime Wardens have won if they had fought in Insula Primalis against Argent Adept and Fanatic? Against I was reading the nemesis of the villains, against Akash Buddha or Apostate. Probably not, but maybe. So I don't know, but from here on out, they will be fighting an Insular Primalist. So now that we have all of that out of the way, the villain that we're going to face today is Deadline, which is this guy here. Now Deadline is a difficulty 2, so we're now into difficulty 2 only villains. He's the villain Radical Peacemonger. And I don't know whose symbol that is. That is his arch nemesis. Oh, it's a naturalist. So at the setup, at the start of the game, Deadline enters play Radical Peacemonger side up. Atomic Englaive is put into play. The villain deck is shuffled. At the end of the, and then the gameplay is, at the end of the villain turn, if there are 3 or more catastrophe cards in play, Deadline flips. Otherwise, the top card of the villain deck is played. So when he flips, what happens? So when he flips, Deadline becomes the remorseful Eco-Vandal. And the gameplay is, at the start of the villain turn, if there are no catastrophe cards in play, Deadline flips. So I guess he flips back to his original side. Does that mean he gains all the hit points we've beaten out of him before? I don't know. At the end of the villain turn, all environment cards are destroyed, and the environment trash is shuffled into the environment deck, so that kind of reestablishes the environment deck. Then all catastrophe cards are destroyed, and Deadline deals each non-villain target X irreducible fire damage and removes the top X cards of the environment deck from the game, where X equals the number of catastrophe cards destroyed this turn. Then, if there are no cards in the environment deck, the heroes lose. Game over. So, he flips. There are 3 or more catastrophe cards in play, then he flips. And then at the end of his turn, all this happens. Okay. Not 100% clear about what will happen, but I guess we'll find out. That's what he looks like without the text. Okay, heroes. Fnatic, Haka, Tempest, the Argent Adept, and Captain Cosme. And our environment is Let's Fight. It is with great regret that I destroy your civilization, humans. It is the only way. Sure, you regret it. Your evil-doing days are numbered, no matter how dangerous you are. Have at them, allies. Onward. Start the game. Okay, let's determine what happened. So we know that this is put into play. That's what the setup is. At the end of the villain turn, this card deals the hero target with the highest HP 3 energy damage. It is not my way to wield the weapon of war, but it is the only way. Sure. And then he drew a card. At the start of the villain turn, play the top card of the environment deck. Then that environment card deals each non-villain target 2 melee damage. Each non-villain target. We're getting reports that a mountain has sprung up downtown. I can't believe what I'm hearing. So that's at the start. Play the top card. Okay. So why did he deal twice? Why did he pull twice? Start of the game, deadline, okay, atomic engrave, okay. At the end of the villain turn, if there are 3 or more, no. Otherwise, the top card of the villain deck is played, okay. So he draws a card and then plays a card off the top. Oh, okay. Tomfoolery already. So for Captain Cosmic, we have the destructive response. The first time a construct card is destroyed each turn, Captain Cosmic may deal up to 3 targets 1 energy damage. Certainly are a lot of you. Well, come and get me. Now these guys don't have... So these are just ongoing. Oh, and there are 2 catastrophes. Oh, 1 more catastrophe and he flips. So already we're getting off to a bad start. Already he's like got momentum going. Holy momentum. Deadline. Energy Bracer. Play this card next to a hero character card. Reduce damage dealt to that hero character card by 1. I will not fight for their homeworld, but I will fight for the good of the galaxy. And then destroy 1 construct card. Potent Disruption. If you do, Captain Cosmic deals 1 target energy damage equal to the HP of the destroyed construct card plus 1. You foolish earthlings, you will fall before the might of Yar. And we got 2 of those because, you know, fortunate for us. So this does what? 2, each non-villain target 2. Okay. So if we play this now, unless we have something that we're going to be able to end of days, the start of the environment turn, destroy all cards in play other than this card, character cards and relics, then destroy this card. Okay, so we can play this one, and that should get rid of the catastrophes. Because I'm like, already these guys are going to cause the environment to wipe out, like, say, this energy bracer. And we don't know, does Haka, and he doesn't have the redirect yet. What is this? But that's if doing 5 or more. And this does 3. Convenient that all these things, you know, don't ever trigger our cards. So I think we can go ahead and play this, and we'll play that. We want to, again, direct as much damage to Haka as possible. So we're going to try and set that up. Captain Cosmic and all construct cards are immune to energy damage. Well, I think we put this in our hand. Who put me in charge? No one. But someone must stand for the world. Because, you know, these are going to... Well, no, we're not. We're going to be... Because Fnatic's going to get rid of these. Should, anyway. But just in case not, we're going to be a little conservative in our play here. So we're going to put this in our hand as opposed into a play. Because then... if damage is done to our construct, and they still remain, because these would do 2 each, which would wipe out that construct. But if damage is done to our construct cards, then we can play this and regain 2 hit points. So we're going to put that in our hand. And luckily for us, we drew the same card again, because, you know, whatever. Can't build our deck when that kind of tomfoolery is going on. We're playing the end of days because, as I already read, at the start of the environment turn, destroy all cards in play other than this card, character cards and relics, then destroy this card. The blight upon this land be cleansed. And what's this do? That deals each non-hero target 1 radiant damage. Did we haven't suffered damage yet, though. Well, Haka has. Fanatic deals one target 2 melee damage. You may use an additional power this turn. Okay. We'll do the one shot. Oh, I guess we won't. We're at the use the power phase. I think we're going to hit deadline. Because I think this is like a match of outdoing damage. You take deadline down. Alright, that's a good card. So if this is a match of doing damage, oh, it's tempting though to do 5. What does he have? Oh, her card's gonna, Fanatic's card's gonna destroy this one anyway. Ground pound. And it would destroy ground pound. Well, I think we go with this one because at the end of the turn, she's going to destroy everything. So I think right now this is what we're going to have to go with. And I think we do this. Keep whacking away at deadline. Let's do the Haka Restoration. Draw 2 cards and then discard 1 or more cards. Haka regains 8 hit points equal to the number of cards discarded this way. And he hit them for 3. So we can discard this one because it's a repeat. And draw 2 cards, then discard 1 or more cards. Reduce the next damage dealt to Haka by 2 for each card discarded this way. I think we get rid of this one too. And then we're done. And then I think we hit deadline. So all of these are going to get destroyed. I think we're just going to skip him altogether. Yay. So long, sucker. So long, sucker. So long, sucker. We were lucky to have the end of days card there at the beginning. With him, with deadline pulling out two catastrophes at once. A natural disaster. Oh, what? Reveal the top 4 cards of the villain deck. Put all catastrophe cards revealed into play. Discard the other cards revealed this way. Are you kidding me? Yeah. So his deck is like all the catastrophe cards are at the beginning. Whatever. Okay. Well, I don't know. I guess the Prime Wardens are probably going to lose this one because of this tomfoolery that's going on. I mean, seriously, what? What? This turmoil is too great. I will pay for my transgressions, but what's done is done. Pfft, whatever. Of course. Pfft, what a joke. Destroy the first card, whatever. They're all going to get destroyed. Select the first target to be dealt damage, and whatever, it doesn't matter. What a joke. What a joke. That's right, I'm yelling about that because that was a joke. So he does Infernal, yeah. Is there any villain that does energy damage? I mean, come on, whatever. That's kind of a waste. No construct cards in play, so yeah, you just get to do that, which is pointless at this point. Conservation of energy. Destroy any number of construct cards. You may either draw X cards or play X cards, where X equals the number of construct cards destroyed this way +1. Let us try this again, but different this time. Let's put this in our hand because there's no construct cards. Yeah, we're getting all lousy cards. And here I was saying, I realized that just because I don't have a card that I can bop somebody over the head with doesn't mean that I have bad cards. But these are bad cards. I'm serious. What the heck is going on? 2, but if we draw this, she does 3. So I think we put that in play, heal her for 1, and hit deadline for 3. Okay, and now we can do this. And let's heal everybody. Because we took quite a bit of damage there in that last round. And he does what? He does, yeah, 4. So this wouldn't have helped anybody anyway because it's 5 and he was only doing 4. Of course. At this point, I think we play this. I was considering playing this guy instead of the one I did. Thinking that, okay, I could stop any damage coming their way, but I knew the glaive was going away, so I figured, well, there's no damage coming their way. Little did I know that tomfoolery was going to happen. Okay, well, let's read his cards now that we can play something. This is Idisar's Horn. Activate the perform text of a melody card and the accompany text of a harmony card. The call which heralds your destruction. Here, let's start from here. Arcane Cadence. Reveal the top 5 cards of your deck. Put one of them in your hand, one on top of your deck, one in the bottom of your deck, one in trash, and play one. Time for a little improvisation. And then Counterpoint Bulwark. Select up to 2 targets until the start of your next turn. Reduce damage dealt by those targets by 1. To those targets by 1. And then one player may draw 1 card now. Once again, evil mindlessly strives for nothing. We read that. Sparring Super Tonic. Perform 1 hero may use a power now. Accompany the Argent Adept regains 2 hit points. Strike swiftly. The Argent Adept deals himself 2 energy damage. If he takes damage this way, you may use a power now. Ugh. And each hero regains 1 HP. Each player may take 1 card other than Vernal Sonata from their trash and put it on top of their deck. Our allies come in all shapes and sizes. There's not enough in the trash, I don't think, to really be playing that. I think we play this one. This served us well in our last match.
Whoa.
And let's see. He does 2. Well, but we can have him heal. I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to have Tempest, and he's going to heal. Yeah, well, he destroyed the last pack, but it came right back out because, you know, why not? So, this is a relic. At the end of the villain turn, this card deals the hero target the lowest HP 2 infernal damage. If a hero character card is dealt damage this way, that hero's player must either discard 1 card or shuffle their trash into their deck. I don't know why shuffling the trash into someone's deck would be a bad thing, but okay. Alright. My strength fades even as the planet cries out for my aid. I guess maybe it's the shuffling that is the issue. I don't know. I think he does have, like, I can get rid of this one. I don't really ever see that being a card that I use really. And of course now, you know, they're beating up on the low hit point guys. So at the end of the environment turn, this card deals the non-environment target with the lowest HP X melee damage, where X equals the number of Velociraptor packs in play times 2. Clever girl, Bunker growled as he noticed a second Velociraptor stalking through the tall grass to corner him. Non-environment target with the lowest HP is this guy. Okay. So he'll be attacking this one. For what? So for 2. And then magnetic pole shift. At the start of the villain turn, discard the top 3 cards of each non-villain deck and destroy 3 hero, ongoing, and or equipment cards. Say what? Oh my lord. The suffering I bring to your world is a mere fraction of what I seek to prevent. It's okay. Whatever justification makes you feel better and sleep better at night, Deadline. All right, well, that is all the time we have for this match today. So hopefully you've enjoyed the tomfoolery that this game has been throwing my way. Like all the catastrophe cards are at the top of his deck, huh? Like how many cards does he have that are not catastrophes? Oh, maybe they're all catastrophes. All but maybe 4. Okay, well, anyway. All right, well, anyway. Hopefully you've enjoyed the gameplay so far, and you'll come back and join us as we continue. Until then, have a wonderful day.